Day 3 of the 100-day transformation challenge. And today I want to talk about being blocked and finding a different solution to a problem. Sometimes you might feel blocked about a money problem, for example. I certainly faced that in my 20s. I was spending too much money. I wasn't making enough money and I was getting into debt. And I thought the problem was that I was spending too much. And perhaps, definitely I could have cut down a bit on my shopping. However, that wasn't really the root cause of the problem. The root cause of the problem was that I wasn't making enough money to live in a city like Sydney, that is one of the most expensive cities in the world. And I had been at that job for about a year and a half, call center job back then, and I looked for a different job and I got a $5,000 a year raise, which doesn't seem like a lot now, but back then it was a lot of money. It made a big difference to my budget, and it was as simple as applying for a few jobs, and within a month I had a new job. So sometimes what we think is the problem, in this case spending money, is not really the problem. The problem was actually not making enough income, and at that time changing jobs was the easy solution. So it's an example of how a change of your money mindset can make such a difference. And that was a long time ago, so I also wanted to think about how can I apply that now. And I did realize that quite recently I also felt a little bit blocked again about money. I had, because the interest rates for mortgages and so on in Sydney have gone up a lot, it had gotten a little bit out of hand. And at first I thought, okay, because I had some other debt from a period last year when I wasn't working. And I basically had to live on credit cards, basically, for about 5 months, just so I could get by. And obviously, then you have a lot of debt if you do that, right? And I thought, okay, I just need to cut down on expenses again, or maybe earn more money, try to just start paying it off. And I had a spreadsheet and it all lined up, and I even had them all on relatively low interest rates because I had done balance transfers and so on. But I realized, okay, that wasn't really the problem. Let's try to actually reduce the repayments per month, so my budget is a little bit more comfortable. And what I did was look at refinancing, and my current bank wasn't going to be able to refinance, and I felt a little bit, again, blocked. And a friend suggested, hey, why don't you go to this other bank? And I was a little bit hesitant to change banks because I've been there with them for a while, and I felt like I had a good interest rate and so on. But I did, and I was able to get the loan with the other bank and reduce my total monthly repayment quite a bit, and therefore make my cash flow a little bit easier and reduce my stress. So it's an example of how that same principle applies, and how thinking about money mindset, it's something that you have to do on an ongoing basis. It's not something that you do once and that's it, you're done with it. It's like anything, like having a shower. You can't just have a shower once and that's it, okay, I'm clean. No, it has to be an ongoing thing. You have to have a shower every single day to keep clean. It's the same thing with money mindset. You have to keep working on it, and every time you think something's hard, or you're blocked about something, you have to keep thinking, okay, how else can I do it? And that's a question that I like to ask often. How else could I do this? Is there any other ways? And brainstorm it. If I can't come up with anything, brainstorm with friends. Now we've got AIs, we can brainstorm with the AI, like say, AI have this ChatGPT or Gemini, whichever AI you use, ask them, I have this problem, can you suggest any possibilities, any possible solutions? We have so many resources nowadays. We are really very lucky. We have so much technology available to us. So whenever you feel blocked, especially about money and money mindset, there's always a way. And that's my thought for today. And perhaps you can take this away and see, is there any area in your life where you feel blocked about, particular about money, but anything else, and see and ask yourself, is there another way? Is there another way I could look at this? Is this really the problem? Could it be a different problem? Work out what is happening with your thoughts and how you can reset your mindset and become the kind of woman that is empowered about her money. And if you want to know more about money mindset, or if you don't feel confident about money, I find that a lot of women that I speak to feel that money is too hard, or numbers are too hard, or I don't know how to invest, or I'll just leave it with my husband, or oh, I won't worry about it. If you're feeling like that, but you actually want to change, you actually want to be the kind of woman who is confident about her money and confident about where her money is going, her spending, her future. In my link below, I've put a link to a course that I've started where you can go ahead and pre-order that course. It'll be ready very soon, and you can have a look at that, and it will be able to help you work through. I'll go through some of those common blockers that women face in regards to money, where they might be coming from, and help you overcome them. Even if you think, I'm a professional woman, I'm a lawyer or a manager or any other kind of profession, and you think, oh, I should know this is basic, I'm embarrassed about it. Even if you think that way, or even if you think, oh no, my husband can take care of it, it's still important for you to know how to manage that money, where it's going, and so on. Or even if you think you don't have time to do a course, it's set up so you can do it's almost a mini course, in that you can do little modules for only a few minutes at a time, whenever you have a few spare minutes. So even if you don't have time, or you think it's too hard or too late to learn about money, it's not too late, I assure you. Even though I learned a lot about money in my 20s, it's something that I've had to really teach myself, because it's not something that I knew a lot about growing up. It's not too late, because sometimes I had forgotten some of those lessons, and even now I have to constantly remind myself of what I've done before, and how I can apply that to my life now in my 40s. So it's never too late. So if you are not sure about anything, have a look at the course, and I assure you that you'll be able to